Look, my top rated book on confidence is called The Super You. I'm sending it to you, physical book, free. Go to the link down there. You got it.
DreAllDay.com.
Congratulations for tuning into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. This is the go-getter energy that allows you to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. Putting all this together, people, you know what you get? You have any idea what you get? You get the mindset, the method, the podcast known as Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Welcome to the show. Today's topic is how to be good, your best, the guy or the girl on a consistent basis. How can you be as good as you are consistently? Now, this sounds like a pretty simple topic. I mean, if you're good, you're just going to be good consistently, right? Doesn't it just happen automatically, Dre? If you have game and you work on your game, like you talk about every day on this podcast, Dre, doesn't that mean every day I'm going to come out there and show my game? Every day I'm going to come out there and be my best and have energy and be locked in and be focused and do everything I'm supposed to do? Well, you tell me. Does it mean that? You probably know that it doesn't. You probably know that. I remember being in college. My biggest challenge in college, and I talked about this in I did an episode of the show called "My Biggest Mistake as an Athlete." If you didn't listen to that, go to DreAllDay.com/podcast and you can find a full archive. Find that episode. Use the search function in your browser. Listen to that episode, especially you athletes, especially you coaches. Have your athletes listen to that one. But my biggest challenge was bringing the effort every day in practice. That was the hardest thing for me. And the reason why it was such a big challenge for me is because I knew I had more game than anybody else in that gym. I knew there was at the most maybe one guy in the gym every single day in practice who had more skills than me. More, you could even say that had more talent than me. I knew I could outplay anybody in there when I wanted to. And that was the biggest problem because then I didn't always want to every single day. I didn't know then what I know now. And I talk about this again in full detail in that episode. And I'm telling you that to tell you this. Just because I had game, just because I had skill, just because I worked on my game a lot in college, and that's how I got good enough to become a pro, didn't necessarily mean I was going to be that good every single day. Because it's not about just having skill. Being good every day is not about your skill level. Being good every day is a mental thing. Because do you always feel like it every day? I mean, think about it. Those of you who are watching this on video, I'm actually recording this outside. And y'all can see it's kind of a gray day in Miami. I normally wouldn't be recording outside on a day like this. It'd be too damn hot. I'd be sweating through my clothes trying to record outside. But I'm recording it outside today because it's so gray that it's not that hot. It's still humid, but it ain't that humid, and I can deal with it. And I'm telling you that to tell you this. Look, every day ain't going to be sunny. Every day is not going to be this beautiful beach day and a great day for photos and a great day for the wedding. Sometimes it's going to be raining. Sometimes it's going to be cloudy. Sometimes it's going to be cold. And it's the same thing with ourselves. Can we agree? Somebody right now is having one of those days. Someone listening to this right now is a rainy day for you, mentally and physically. Someone's having a cloudy day mentally right now. There's a storm warning coming when it comes to how you physically feel, and you need your physical body in order to do your job at your highest possible level. I know I'm talking to somebody right now. I'm probably talking to maybe 100 people right now who are listening to this today. So no, just because you have skill, it does not mean you will just be good just by default. There's something mental that you got to have in place. Ideally, some things, plural, mental that you have in place in order for you to be good on a consistent basis. Now, I want to refer to you a couple other episodes of this podcast. If you have not heard them, maybe if you're a new listener or you've been listening to the last 100 episodes, I mean, you see what number episode this is. We got a lot here. All right, so I want to refer to you to some past episodes you can listen to that are related to this topic. Episode number 392. The topic was the key to success being consistency. So you want to learn about consistency, go to episode 392. And episode number 406 is about earning your spot every single day. So it's directly related to this topic and the topic of a couple days ago, which is establishing a leadership position anywhere you go, or to assume that leadership role anywhere you go. Understand that when you're being paid for your work, those of you who are amateurs out there, you students, you students, everybody else is pretty much a professional. Everybody else is getting paid for what they do. Or if you're trying to get paid in something, maybe you're getting paid for something right now, but that's not the thing you really want to get paid for. You want to do something else, and you're kind of working on it on the side right now. So you're an amateur in that thing. When you're being paid for your work, people expect that work from you, and you literally cannot afford to slip. Literally, you can't afford it, because if you slip, people are going to stop paying you for it. Your customers may start coming back to you. I mean, if this podcast started getting worse, people will stop listening to it, and that would affect a whole lot of other things. If you're an athlete and you're not, and you stop doing your job, despite the fact that everybody in the room knows how much skill you have, but you're not delivering and doing your job, they're going to let you go. I mean, how many athletes have you seen who were super talented that you knew they had the skill to do the job, but for whatever reason, teams keep letting go of them. People keep giving up on them. Maybe they find themselves out of the league, out of the NFL, out of the NBA, simply because they didn't find a way to be as good as they actually are every single day. You ever heard of a story like that? Maybe you've been that person in some area of your life at some point in time. Today, I'm going to tell you how to make sure you are as good as you are, whatever your game is, on a consistent basis. So everybody knows it, so you're dependent on for it. And when you're dependent on for something, people come to rely on you. And when you're relied on for something, you know what people do? They pay you for it. Point number one, to be good every single day, the first thing you must do, the key thing you must do, is you must require this level of performance from yourself. Yes, that's point number one. It has to be a standard, people. It has to be a standard for you to be as good as you are every single day. You got to be locked in. You got to be focused every day. It has to just be something that you expect of yourself. There's no hack to it. There's no magic trick to it. There's no magic words that you say to yourself. There's no YouTube video that you watch to get you motivated. I mean, if that's what you do, you go ahead and do that. But there has to be something within you. All right, there's not anything outside of you, nothing material, nothing anybody else says or does that makes it a requirement for you to always be focused and doing your thing. I believe I've told you a story about Luke Longley, who was an Australian player who played in the NBA for several years. He was a teammate of Michael Jordan, and in an interview Luke did after his career, the phrase that he used to describe Michael Jordan, the best phrase he could come up with, was locked in. Not locked in, actually. I'm sorry, that's not what he said. The phrase that he used was non-negotiable. And he went on to explain that Michael Jordan was locked in at all times. Every single day, this guy was locked in. Every single practice, every single game, every single shoot around, this guy was locked in, and nobody else could keep up with him mentally. So on top of the fact that he had talent, on top of the fact that Michael Jordan had game, it was his mental focus, that mental lock-in, that really made him as great as he was. Because listen, there were other players out there who were talented, right? Had there been other talented basketball players in the world besides Michael Jordan? Before him, there were. While he was playing, there were. After he's been playing, there have been plenty of talented basketball players. But the reason that he stands out as an icon is because of the fact that he was able to lock himself in mentally every single time out. He was non-negotiable about it. That's the reason I brought up the Luke Longley story. There was not a negotiation. It wasn't like, all right, I'm not really feeling it today. You know, I'm kind of sick. You know, I got the flu, right? You know, Michael Jordan with the flu game. I got the flu. You know what? I'm gonna take it easy today. I'm gonna go halfway today. I'm not gonna give all my effort today. Listen, I played in Chicago 500 games already. If I'm not that good in game 501, it's okay. They'll forgive me when I'm good in game 502. Michael Jordan, there was no negotiation with him. He was non-negotiable with himself about showing up and locking in every single day. And because he was non-negotiable with himself, he was allowed to be non-negotiable with everybody else on the team. See, he couldn't walk in one day and tell everybody they had to get locked in and focus and do their job and be their best if he wasn't doing it himself every single day. Because everybody don't look to him like, dude, who the hell are you? Yesterday, just 2 days ago, you didn't even try hard in practice, but now you're trying to tell everybody you're locked in. Shut the hell up. Nobody would have wanted to hear it, right? But because he did it every day, he was allowed to hold everybody else accountable, and nobody could say anything when he decided to hold them accountable. I'm telling you all that, and this is still in point number one, you will not mentally and physically always feel like it. The conditions will not always be in your favor. To be good all the time, the roots of that are a commitment and a discipline that make that commitment real. The commitment is, this is what I'm going to do every single time. And there must be a discipline behind that commitment that makes it real. Because the commitment is you saying what you're going to do. Discipline is you actually following through on it and doing what you say you're going to do. Following through on that commitment with real actions, making that decision real. So first thing, it has to come from you. That is the roots. Number two, Today's topic is how to be as good as you are on a consistent basis. Do not depend on excitement. Don't depend on newness. Don't depend on novelty. Don't depend on some magic trick, some hocus pocus, something that just keeps you mentally, what's the word that I'm looking for? Mentally excited. Let's just use that word. I had someone leave me a comment on a YouTube video once. And it was a video that had been edited. It was a lot of editing that had been done to the video. So it was a lot of jump cuts in the video. It was just a lot going on in the video. It was a video that looked like it was made by someone who's like a professional editor who takes a whole lot of time and edits each video. And someone left a comment and said something like, well, Dre, I wish you would do your podcasts in a similar way that you did this video. Because sometimes when I listen to your podcast, it gets hard for me to continue to pay attention because, you're just talking and it's hard for me to just stay focused on whatever it is that you're talking about. And I read the comment and I said back to the gentleman, I believe it was a man who left this comment. I said, this podcast is probably just not for you. Because the thing is, if you're looking for some excitement, you're looking for some novelty, you're looking for some hocus pocus, then you listen to the wrong show. This show is not about novelty and excitement and hocus pocus. Maybe it is novelty. There's a different topic every day. Maybe it's exciting to you just to listen to the sound of my voice. But I don't make this podcast to entertain you. I make this podcast to inform you and to assist you in doing what you need to do to be the best that you could possibly be. So you can work on your game and you can produce a result because you get paid for results. All right, paid in whatever way you want to get paid. I remember when I used to post basketball videos on YouTube every single day. Once I was playing this guy one-on-one in a video, and I beat the guy. And in the game, I kept doing the same moves over and over again. It was actually like one move I kept doing. I kept doing this one dribble, pull-up jump shot over and over and over again. And I beat him just doing that one shot because I kept having that shot. The shot was available to me. I kept making it, and I ended up winning the game. And some people will leave a comment, and they would say, well, look, yeah, you won, Dre, but you're doing the same move over and over again. I mean, you got all these drills where you're doing all these different moves in your practice, but then you get in the game and you're doing the same move over and over again. What's up with that, Dre? Where's the variety? Why don't you do something different? Why don't you show us some moves or do some of that stuff that you're doing in practice? And I would have to explain to them, listen, the object of the game is not to do moves. The object of the game is not to do something different every time you touch the ball. The object of the game is to put the ball in the basket. That's why the sport is called basketball, right? The moves are just a means to an end. You have a whole bunch of moves only because that helps you get to the ends of producing baskets. But if you could produce a basket without having to use a move, then you go ahead and do it. The object of the game, again, is to put the ball in the basket. So if you're looking for excitement, you're looking for novelty, you're looking for, quote unquote, something new, you're not quite a professional yet. You're not ready to be a professional if that's what you need in order to stay focused, in order to get focused, in order to stay locked in. See, the non-negotiability is about, listen, I'm going to do the job. The outcome is, the commitment that you're committed to is putting the ball in the basket. Then you do what the most basic way you do that, the most straight line, quote unquote, way you do it. That's the way you do it. Now, anything else you got to do along the way in order to get to that end, then you do that. You don't do it just to do it, though. So don't depend. This second point is don't depend on the excitement, because depending on the excitement, in order for you to be locked in order for you to do your best and bring your best effort, it's kind of like eating candy, all right? You'll feel good for a moment while you're doing it, but the thing about eating candy is that you crash quickly. Because of that spike, you crash pretty quickly and you crash pretty hard. So you don't want to depend on the excitement, because when the excitement wears off, then what you going to do? Point number 3. Today's topic is how to be as good as you are on a consistent basis. Get around other people who are just as sharp as you, and you all pick each other up. Energy, ladies and gentlemen, as you may have heard, the energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Energy is merely transferred from one object to another. Therefore, if you get around a whole bunch of other people who have skill, who have game, they want to be non-negotiable, they want to be locked in, and all of you are around each other. If any one of you, let's say it's 5 of you, and one of you didn't bring the energy one day, the other 4 of you can transfer some energy to that one, and now everybody's up at the right level doing what they got to do. But if it's just you by yourself, what are you going to do when you don't have the energy? What are you going to do when you don't really feel it? What are you going to do if it's just you alone all the time? There's no one else's energy to grab onto. Now you might have a day where you got to drag through it. Now you can still find the energy, but it's a lot harder to pull it all out of yourself by yourself if you don't have anyone around you who can say, you know what? Hey, what are you doing today? How are we getting better today? What are you working on today? hey, let's go to the gym right now. Let's go work on this business plan right now. Yo, let's go record these videos right now. Let's go work on this project that we've been working on. Let's knock it out. Let's finish it today. Let's finish the whole thing this weekend. Let's lock in and do this whole thing right now in the next 48 hours, get it all done. When you got people around you who are just as sharp as you, you've heard the saying, iron sharpeneth iron. You get people around you who are just as sharp as you, and everybody's holding everybody accountable. Everybody's picking everybody up. That's when you can create a circle of success. That's when you don't always have to depend on it being you. You don't always have to be the guy, because somebody else can step up and do it. Then somebody else can step up and do it. Then somebody else can step up and do it. And then one day when everybody's locked in, everybody's feeling it, that's when magic happens. That's when amazing things happen. But everybody got to be on the same page. Everybody got to be going after the same goal. And everyone must be willing to be held accountable by everybody else in the group. That's the key thing. Now, if you're going to allow other people to hold you accountable, then you better make sure you're holding yourself accountable, doing what you're supposed to be doing. If someone else is going to allow you to hold them accountable, you better be holding yourself accountable, because if you're not, then why would they even listen to you? I mean, how could you listen to somebody who tells you, yo, you need to go to the gym and make sure you stay in shape? If they never go to the gym and they're not in shape, you couldn't listen to them. You couldn't even take it seriously. They probably never would even say something like that, because they know that you couldn't take them seriously. They can't take themselves seriously on that topic. So you got to be holding yourself accountable in order to hold other people accountable. I heard Dame Dash say, I believe one time he was explaining his tattoos. This is way back in the 90s. And he was talking about how he had the circle of success as a tattoo on his arm. And he said the purpose of the circle of success is kind of like if there are 10 guys who are all friends, you want everybody in that group of 10 guys to be millionaires. Because if one guy goes broke, he just falls on hard times and he goes broke, all the other 9 guys can each give him $100,000. Now he's got $1 million. Now everybody's got money again. But everybody got to have money. All right. If that 10th guy goes broke and all the other 9 guys are also broke, then now you just got a bunch of people that are broke. So who is it that you want to be around? I heard Puff Daddy say something very similar. He said, if you hanging around a bunch of people who are broke, and you just around a bunch of motherfuckers that's broke. Like, where are the people who got the money? Where are the people who are doing something? Where are the people who are about something? Those are the people I want. That's the zip code that I want to live in. Dame Dash was making the exact same point, and it is no coincidence that I mentioned both of those guys in Virtual Mentors episodes. You can find those again at dreallday.com/podcast. Get around other people who are locked in, or at least on the journey in the process of getting locked in. People who are or want to be non-negotiable, and y'all can draft off each other's energy. If any of you watch the Tour de France, the bike race, there's a reason why there are teams for these bike races. There are teams because they want the strongest rider, whoever that strongest rider is. The rest of the team agrees before the race even starts. Look, what we're going to do is maybe everybody will start out and we'll see how everyone's doing. But when it gets to a point that we realize only one of us really has a chance to win the Tour de France, we're going to protect that one guy who might win. We're going to go in the front of the group. All right, we're going to ride in the pack. But the guys who are the strongest riders who are not in contention, we're going to ride in the front. So we take all that wind, all that headwind is hitting us. We got to push the hardest, and we'll let the guy who has the chance to win, we'll let him ride in the back of the pack. So we're kind of letting him draft off our energy, conserve his energy for when he has to go out on his own and try to win that race. But you got to have a circle of people who are strong enough to do that, mentally strong enough to accept, you know what, we're going to pick each other up. When if I don't have it, you pick me up. If you don't have it, I'm going to pick you up. We're going to hold each other accountable. If you ain't bringing it, I'm going to get in your face. If I'm not bringing it, you get in my face. You got to have a team of people strong enough that y'all can do that to each other. Do you have anybody around you that you can have that conversation with, a real conversation, and tell them like, yo, you ain't bringing it right now. You're not doing your job right now. Like, yo, you need to stop bullshitting and step your game up right now. You got to have enough people around you that you can do that. If you have a team, those of you who are on sports teams, listen, the ideal team, everybody on the team can look at everybody else and put anybody else on that team in their place, and everybody's holding everybody else accountable. That's the ideal team. I don't know if one of those teams ever even existed. If y'all know one, y'all let me know. When you get a team like that, that's a team that can't be stopped. Because everyone's picking everybody else up. Everybody knows that they got to bring it because they're going to be held to a certain standard by everybody else. But who's the leader who's going to set that tone? I think it might be you. Remember that energy is transferable. If you're going to have people around you, find the aces in the deck. Who you got around you right now? There are 52 cards in the deck, right? Some people got aces. Some people got kings, queens, jacks. Some people are walking around with 5s, 3s, 2s, 4s. You got to pull the aces out of the deck if you want to be able to use this last principle that I just told you, getting other people around you who are just as sharp. It can't just be anybody. It can't just be any old raggedy people. It got to be people who are serious about their business. Let's recap today's topic, which is how to be good, your best on a consistent basis. Number one, you got to be a standard. Require it of yourself. You will not always feel like it, but when it's a requirement, you are going to do it anyway. Number two, do not depend on excitement or novelty or newness. It's like eating candy. It's exciting for a moment, but it burns out quickly and you will crash hard. Be a professional and show up even when the newness is worn off. And number three, get around other people who are just as sharp as you, and y'all pick each other up. Y'all hold each other accountable. Everybody knows what the standard is. Everybody's living up to that standard, and whoever isn't gets called out on it, and they know they'll be called out on it. Then everybody's going to have a higher standard just in general, just because of it. Find the aces in the deck, keep them around you, throw the other 48 cards away. You don't need them. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com.